So hello guys, and welcome to another video, and a ton of things have been coming out about the Switch 2. Over the past month, it's been blowing up. Like, tons of things with, like, images of the console, and different specs, and even recently, an image of the motherboard leaked out, which is kind of crazy. So I kind of wanted to discuss what we know so far, and about when this could be revealed, and my thoughts on the things that have been leaked so far. And joining me is my brother Jack. It's been a while since you've been on the channel.
Yes.
I think the last time was on one of my Mario Party streams.
Yeah,
but
as well.
yeah. Since you know a little bit about the Switch, you've been playing the Switch Lite over the past few years. We kind of wanted to give our thoughts on it and everything. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the things that we know so far. So it will be revealed before March 2025, as Nintendo revealed back in 2024. I kind of have to get used to that since it's 2025 now, but I have a feeling that it will be revealed this month. Like, there have been so much coming out about this. Like, it has to be this month. Like, I have a feeling that it's gonna probably be this month. But yeah. So Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is coming out this month. So do you think it will, that's coming out, like, I think in 2 weeks? So do you think that's gonna be before or after that?
Well, is it gonna have 4K or 5?
It's only rumored to have 4K so far, but I have a feeling it probably will.
I think either be revealed at the same time. Maybe. If it does, it would be.
Or like a little after Donkey Kong, I would say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that kind of makes sense as they get like the first game out of the way, kind of have some advertising for that, and then they'd reveal the Switch 2. I think that's definitely pretty likely. Unless Nintendo has like decides that like, oh, there's like so much like being leaked about this that they just decide to just do it anyway, just do it like as soon as possible. But we'll see. I have a feeling it's definitely going to be this month. Just because there's just been so much coming out about this, and so many companies are waiting to reveal games for the Switch 2. Like, there are, like, some companies that already shown some things, like Playtonic with the, Ukulele remaster. They like, had, like, a thing that said Nintendo with, like, eyes on it, like, kind of hinting at the Switch 2. And then there were, like, other games that said, like, oh, it's gonna be on the Nintendo system. They didn't say the Switch, they just said, oh, the Nintendo. Like, they're trying to say the Switch 2 without saying the Switch 2. But we also got some leaks about the design of the Switch 2, which are pretty interesting. So we know that it's going to have 2 USB-C ports, new magnetic Joy-Cons, which I think are pretty interesting. I know you've seen me kind of struggle with the Joy-Con rails before. Like, you know, when, like, you don't have your Switch Lite with you,
No.
you want you to try out, like, a game like Brothership or something, and the Joy-Con just isn't connecting, and...
It's a struggle.
Yeah, but I feel like these magnetic Joy-Cons will definitely be a lot better, hopefully. I'm hoping they'll be a lot better, but I think it's probably going to be a little more reliable than the rails, I would say, because, like, my Switch that I got back in 2017, I've just had, like, some issues with, like, the Joy-Cons connecting to it, and I'm not sure if anyone else have had those issues as well, but there's a few issues with the design of the base Switch, so I hope they kind of iron those out with the Switch 2. And there's also, like, some rumors for, like, Hall effect analog sticks, like ones that will have less problems with drift, and I really, really hope that is true, because they can't just... I don't think they can get away with using the same Joy-Con, or the same analog sticks they used with the base Joy-Cons on the Switch 1, because those had some problems with drifting. I remember when I first discovered, like, the drift, like, on my end with the Switch 1, back when Super Mario Odyssey came out, like, it was just kind of crazy. I was like, why is Mario moving on his own? That's weird. And then it just started happening in the menu, and then I had to buy new Joy-Cons. But yeah, I hope the Joy-Cons on the Switch 2 will be a lot better. And there's also a mysterious C button on the console, like in some of the images that we've seen. Like, it's right below the home button on the right Joy-Con, and a lot of people have been kind of theorizing about what that will be, but I think it's probably going to be like a cast button, like you can press it and then it does like the a Wii U thing where it could just display like two screens. Like maybe you could play like DS games on Nintendo Switch Online that way, or maybe certain games will take advantage of it. Like you could have something on the TV and then you can use the touchscreen. I think that would be pretty cool. I know it's not going to be a replacement for the dock, because we already know that it's going to have a dock, but I don't know. I think it's going to have something to do with like casting the Switch up to like a TV or something. Maybe it will utilize the dock with that. Maybe that's why the dock is a little more bulky than the base Switch, but in the Switch OLED as well. But I think that's probably what the C button is going to be, because like I don't think it's going to be another capture button, because I think that would be a bit weird to have like, because why not just put a home button on the other Joy-Con as well if they're going to add another capture button. But yeah, I don't know. But like I'm just thinking like maybe it is a capture button, and maybe multiplayer can be even more annoying now, because remember how like when you're playing with someone, sometimes they can annoy you and just take a bunch of captures on the Switch if they have the Joy-Con with the capture button. But who knows? I think it's probably going to be like a cast thing that you can cast it up onto the screen. And it's also going to have I think an 8-inch display from what I remember. Maybe it's a little bigger than that. I forgot. But all I know that it is going to be bigger than the base Switch. And it makes sense, because it is going to have some, like the motherboard is like bigger than like the base Switch itself, as we've seen with like the images of it. So yeah, I think it's definitely like a little bigger from what we've seen as well. And going back to something that Nintendo actually confirmed, is that it will actually be compatible, or backwards compatible, with Switch 1 games. I think it would be crazy if it wasn't. Like, I'm so glad that they like confirmed that and everything. So yeah.
It would be funny if all the Switch 1 games just like, oh, you can only play it in 480p. It's like, oh, you have to buy a new version of it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of, I know that, like, some of the other consoles have been doing, like, really weird things with backwards compatibility, so I hope Nintendo doesn't do that. Or another, like, weird thing that they could do. Like, imagine if it's, like, backwards compatible, but only with digital games.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. But I'm assuming when Nintendo said backwards compatible, they just meant, like, oh, it's just gonna be, like, you could just pop in your Switch game, and you could, like, play it as you would on the Switch 1. So, yeah. And this is also kind of data mined. It's not, like, completely confirmed, but I feel like it's pretty likely at this point, considering the fact that it's been data mined in certain games, as well as rumored. But some Switch 1 games will likely get 4K updates. In the Thousand Year Door remake, there was a setting for it to run in 4K. And of course, the Switch 1 can't do that. So I think it's likely that this means that certain games, like Thousand Year Door, will get 4K updates, and they just already kind of included it in the files of the game, like when it launched and everything, and it would just unlock, as well as like a few things added for it to run correctly. But yeah, I think some games like Tears of the Kingdom, or Mario Wonder, and of course like Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi Brothership will get like 4K updates when you basically pop in your Switch 1 cartridge and run it on the Switch 2. But I think that would be pretty cool. So there's also like a few other things that were recently rumored, based on previous info, and we're also starting to connect the dots now with like the recent motherboard leak. So it's likely that it will be using an NVIDIA T239 processor, based on like the motherboard, even though it didn't directly say it on there, that's kind of what it's looking to be from a lot of people who are kind of more into like a lot of the leaks and things. And we also kind of know from the memory that we've seen on the motherboard that it's going to have 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is pretty good, I would say, for like combined with the processor. I would say that that's pretty good for like a kind of like a hybrid, like the Switch 2 and everything. And we also got a very recent rumor about DLSS 4K upscaling, which is another thing with NVIDIA, and it kind of makes sense that Nintendo is working with NVIDIA a lot when developing these consoles and everything. But I've heard a lot of good things about DLSS 4K upscaling, because it basically, you would have the visual performance of like a 4K game kind of upscaled, and I think that would definitely save some like processing power, and it would definitely allow, and like memory and everything, and it would allow the Switch 2 to like run more kind of more demanding games and have it look decently good while not having to be too powerful. Because I've seen like a lot of good things about like DLSS upscaling. Like, I think there's a lot of potential with it, and I think that would work pretty well with the Switch 2, I would say. So I hope that rumor is true, because I think that would make a lot of sense from Nintendo's perspective.
Maybe Peoria will just leaked through, snuck into the factory. Switch 2s.
Yeah, maybe that's how we've gotten like all this information. Maybe like Pioro created a bunch of like burner accounts and just like he's just posting all of this now. He took like a bunch of pictures in the factory. Maybe that's why we know about this now. But yeah. But if this motherboard leak is true, and all these other rumors are true, the Switch 2, I'm guessing it will probably be as powerful as the PS4 Pro or even the Xbox Series S. Maybe not that powerful, just for like something as small as like the Switch 2. But I'm thinking it will, like, I'm thinking like the PS4 Pro will be like a decent range for this to be in. Like, especially because this is gonna have DLSS upscaling. I think that combined with like the specs of the PS4 Pro will kind of enable it to run like some current gen games without too many compromises. So I think that would definitely be good. It would definitely be a very good handheld for playing a lot of modern games if it did have those specs. And even if it wasn't as powerful as we expected, like I still think the upscaling will definitely do a lot of work with this to like kind of elevate the visual performance. So yeah. And with Switch 1 games, one of my hopes for the Switch 2 is that it will run like almost all of them at like 1080p 60 FPS. Like even if some of them like aren't like fully 4K, I think it would be nice if it was able to run like Switch games like at a better frame rate, because some of the games do run at a lower frame rate and are kind of pretty choppy. Like if you look at like Hyrule Warriors, Link's Awakening Remake, Echoes of Wisdom, Peach Showtime, even Mario & Luigi Brothership. That was like one of my only problems with the game, is that the frame rate was kind of weird. And some games are kind of capped at 30 FPS that could likely run better, like Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. So I'm hoping that we'll get like 60 FPS like updates, or like just automatically run at 60 FPS if they're running on the Switch 2. I think that would be really nice if that like was able to be like a thing on the Switch 2. So yeah, I'm excited about the Switch 2. I'm hoping that it will be revealed soon, because these leaks are kind of getting out of hand and they're kind of getting crazy. I really hope Nintendo reveals something pretty soon. But yeah. So, what are your thoughts on all this information that we've seen so far?
I'm from what I've seen, it kind of looks like a Switch U, but I think it'll be a little better. I think they've learned from the Wii.
I think like even if it is called the Switch 2, like just regular, just like all it is called the Switch 2. I think it's still probably gonna do better than the Wii U, because like I mean, it's kind of like a similar name to like the PlayStation 2 or the 3DS, where it's just like one little thing. Because the Wii U, that was kind of confusing. Why, like, oh, is it an accessory called the Wii U for like is the gamepad called the Wii U? Like a lot of people were thinking it was like an accessory for the Wii, but like the Switch 2 is like, oh, this is the second Switch. This is the next Switch. So I think that's conveying that this is like a new Switch rather than just an accessory for the regular Switch.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I do think the logo could have been a bit better.
Yeah, it's a little unoriginal.
Yeah, I wish they made something cool. Like they took the Switch logo and had like maybe like a little effect around the Joy-Cons. Actually, I have like a cool idea. Like maybe if there's like two lines in between the Joy-Cons and it kind of makes this 2 effect. That would have been much cooler. And then have like Nintendo Switch 2 below it, like in the little text where it says Nintendo Switch. That would have been much cooler, in my opinion.
They could have called it the X2.
Yeah, we still need to know what the NX is. They announced it all the way back in 2015.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm joking, obviously, but yeah, it's pretty exciting about the Switch 2. I really hope it's revealed soon. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Goodbye.